What's up, guys? It's Dan at Your PB Friend here at Paintball Extravaganza 2016, and I got in my hands the brand new DLX Luxe ICE. This marker has obviously made the big quake and stolen the show for this year, as people love the Luxe, and these are some pretty significant changes on this. I'm going to kind of address some of the thoughts that I have on the initial release and what I see people's opinions, and then we're going to run through the bolt real quick. First of all, with the gun, I've heard some people complain, oh, it looks like a Luxe, or we don't like the way it looks. Here's my thought on it. The Luxe, people love the way it looks. I've heard very few people ever say they don't like the way a Luxe looks. So it has its own signature look for its whole life. It still looks like a Luxe, except now it has a new age flair, I say, on it. So some of those new age contours, kind of like a car. You have a classic car that people love, and then it just comes with a little new age package on it, but it's still the same car and looks the same. So that's awesome. So that's the aesthetic side of it. So when I look at a marker, there's three sides: the aesthetics, the features, and then the performance. As for the features, there's some pretty major changes, I think, in there. The regulator is much simpler to tech and maintain. You know, one size Allen key, pull it out, service it in just a few minutes. That's huge. The ASA helps with your your ergonomics in that feature, and it just works really well. There's now no wires in between the frames, so they got rid of that problem, and you can just connect it and disconnect it easily. The trigger you can service by pulling out without taking apart the frame. The feed neck is a stronger, larger feed neck that's clamped, that's not going to go anywhere on you. They made some more rooms to like the ergonomics of moving the frame back, or the trigger guard back, so that you can hold it better. Those are all things that we've been asking for as players and saying, hey, one person may not like this, one person may not like that. And they gave that to us. So those are huge refinements in and of itself. I want to address into the bolt system. So that already, I personally think, is more changes than a lot of companies make at a time. Those are all pretty significant and well thought out and good changes. The bolt is not the same. It's different. One, you have this new ceramic coating, which isn't actually ceramic. We have that explained in another video, but pretty much the maintenance of a marker. People say, well, a Luxe is too hard to maintain. It needs to be lubed all the time. To my understanding with this new system, this is a dry bolt in my hand, and honestly, it feels slicker than any lubed bolt I've felt for the most part. It is really nice, and this should, in theory, pretty much be able to operate without any lubricant on it. The lube is actually made to preserve the O-rings. It's just a great and simple thing. That's a huge change right there. Another question people have, or people wanted to see with the Luxe, is efficiency. Is this gun better efficiency? So one, it runs at, I believe, a 40 psi less operating pressure, which is very significant in that. The other thing too is it now has a preset shutoff. So there is one, it does still have the spring in the front of the bolt guide, right? So that gets rid of the bolt stick. But there's also a spring behind this, or spring in front of the bolt, and then a spring behind this bolt guide. And what that does is when the air moves forward, it does two things. One, it shuts off the air chamber so that you're not going to actually dump the whole volume chamber, which is going to give you a lot more efficiency right there. Because rather you're gonna, save 20% air on every single shot. The second thing it does, and this kind of blows my mind, but it's supposed to make it smoother. What happens is when the air comes out of the bolt and it actually hits the ball, you get back pressure. The air pushes the ball forward and air comes back. That back pressure is going to fight with the spring here pretty much, and it's dampening it. So pretty much when you shoot a paintball gun, you get the force of the ball shooting out, which gives you barrel rise. And I've said this for a long time, Luxes are very smooth, but I do feel the barrel rise from when it pushes the ball forward. this should negate that, and you have it on each side, so two forces equally pulling it. So essentially this should have almost no feeling in the shot whatsoever. You just shoot it. So yeah, I'm saying a smoother Luxe, which is really incredible. 40% less operating pressure also means 40% less force when it hits the balls. When you're talking about that pressure and that impact on the paintball, the Luxe was also one of the softest guns on paint out there, and so when you're making that even softer, that is significant. That's nothing small. You see in this bolt system, they did a lot with the design of the bolt and the air paths, and that's where you get that 40% or 40 psi less operating pressure. Air, you can, if you look at air as a fluid thing, just like water, different obstacles, a right degree, a wall, it slows it down or needs more force to get around it. So you'll see in a lot of the areas on the bolt tip, inside this bolt guide right here, on the inside of the gun or this can, all these areas pretty much making the air paths as smooth and simple as possible. So those are some of the changes as well. We're going to do a full breakdown of this when we get the gun and do a full ultimate gun review, going over everything, complete in-depth review of the gun. But this is our quick paintball extravaganza run through of the marker. Go ahead and check out yourpbfriend.com to get all your information about the Luxe ICE. We also have another video where we interviewed Russell, one of the guys from Luxe, and he goes over all kinds of questions that we actually had our viewers on Facebook actually ask questions. So you want to check that out for sure. But yeah, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see, what thoughts you may have, and we'll try to answer all those for you. So thanks for watching, guys.